Have you ever found yourself at one of those infamous networking events and you're going around and you're meeting new people and then suddenly you find yourself in a conversation that's lasting a little too long? You probably have your back to the wall and someone's firing questions at you and telling you their life story and you're thinking, I need to get out of this conversation. This context is awkward, even for an extrovert like me. So in this episode of the Talk About Talk podcast, you're going to learn 5 creative, clever, and polite ways to graciously exit a networking conversation without burning bridges. Are you ready? Okay, let me start with a true story. This actually happened to me. I remember once I was at a networking event. There was a room full of powerful women, and I wanted to meet all of them. And I found myself, after about half an hour or so, engaged in a very intense conversation with one woman, and there was no one else around. And she was firing questions at me, and she was telling me her life story. And I remember thinking, I don't want this conversation to go any further. I need to find a graceful exit. And you know what I did? I looked over her shoulder. And then you know what she said? Andrea, is there someone else you'd rather be speaking with? Is there somewhere else you'd rather be? And I actually thought to myself, oh my gosh, this is like the networking event nightmare. I'm stuck talking to one person. I'm trying to figure out a graceful exit, and she actually calls me on it. More on what I should have done in a moment. But first, let me introduce myself. In case we haven't met, my name is Dr. Andrea Wojnicki. Please just call me Andrea. I'm an executive communication coach at Talk About Talk, where I coach ambitious executives like you to improve your communication, your clarity, and your credibility so that you can achieve your career goals. If you'd like to learn more about me, I encourage you to go to talkabouttalk.com, where you can read all about me and all of the services that I offer. You can also connect with me on LinkedIn. I spend lots of time there, and I would love to hear from you. Okay, let's do this. 5 ways to graciously exit networking conversations. Here's the first one. Connect them with someone. This is actually what I should have said to that woman who asked whether I'd rather be talking to someone else. I should have quickly said, actually, I just noticed a friend over here that I'd love to introduce you to. And then I should have grabbed her and pulled her over to a friend and introduced them. And then you have your way out, right? You've created a threesome and you're the third wheel, so it's time to leave. I'm not saying take the person you don't want to talk to and introduce them to another unsuspecting victim. I am encouraging you to think about real positive connections that you can make. After all, this is a networking event. You can do yourself and everybody else a favor by establishing connections. Okay, so that's the first one. Connect them with someone else. The second one is the old food and drink excuse. Here's what you do. You announce something like, listen, I am famished. I haven't had anything to eat all day. I'm going to head over to the food table and fill my plate, and I'll come find you later. And then you just leave. The other thing you could do is bring them with you. Say, I notice you don't have a glass of wine, or I notice you don't have a cup of coffee. Let's go over to the beverage center and help ourselves, and then bring them with you. And you're bound to find other people along the way that you can meet with and talk. So that's the second way. Announce you're getting food and drink. My third suggestion is to turn the conversation to networking and meeting people. This is actually about telling them why you're there. You could ask them, so what's your objective here? And they tell you, well, I want to learn this. I want to meet people. And you could say, listen, I really do too. I'm really trying to expand my network. So if you don't mind, I'd love to exchange business cards or exchange LinkedIn connections. And then I'm going to move on and I'll connect with you sometime later this week. And then you leave. So the secret here is being honest and telling them exactly why you're at the event. You want to make as many connections as possible. You want to expand your network. Make sure you tell them that you're going to reconnect with them later, and then make sure you do. Always follow up. All right, so we've already covered 3 of the 5 ways that you can graciously exit networking conversation. Do you remember what they are? Number 1, connect them with someone. Number 2, announce that you need food or a drink. And number 3, focus on networking and tell them you're trying to expand your network. The fourth way to graciously exit a networking conversation is to invite them to take a selfie with you. This is a great one that I haven't heard before, but actually one of my clients who's become a friend shared it with me. She said she finds herself in this situation all the time. And you know what she does? She says, I've met a lot of people tonight and I plan on meeting a lot more. So here's what I'd love to do. Can I take a selfie with you? And if you'd like, I can send it to you. And that way we can exchange phone numbers or email addresses, however you're sharing the photo. This is creative and it establishes the connection and it gives you an out. So that's the fourth thing. Invite them to take a selfie with you. The fifth and last strategy is to just tell them. Be transparent. So there's really two ways that you can do this. Depends on how confident you are. If you're not feeling particularly confident, you could revert to suggestion number 3, right? You could tell them, listen, I'm feeling really awkward about this, but I feel like I need to move on because my whole objective, my goal for this event is for me to meet as many people as possible. So please don't take this personally, but I'm going to move on. It was lovely to meet you, and then close the loop with them, right? So that's one way of doing it. The other way that you can do this was actually inspired by a woman who I met a couple of times at different events, at dinners and cocktail parties, and she was the master of this. She would spend 3 to 5 minutes chatting with me, getting caught up, and then she'd say, listen, I need to make my rounds, so I just wanted to say it was fantastic to get caught up with you. I look forward to seeing you again soon, and I'm just going to move on. And then she would go. And I remember consciously thinking to myself after she did this with me a couple of times at different events, like, wow, I really want to master that eloquence, that graciousness. She wasn't making excuses. She wasn't calling out the awkwardness. She was graciously telling me how lovely it was to see me again and that she was going to move on. And then that's what she did. And I didn't feel in the bit slightest. This is my goal. The next time I go to one of those awkward networking events, I am going to graciously thank the person for the connection and move on. What's your goal? Remember, the next time you go to a networking event, if you find yourself in a conversation for a little bit too long with someone, try one of these 5 strategies. Number 1, connect them with someone. Number 2, the food or drink excuse. Number 3, tell them that you're focused on networking and meeting as many people as possible. Number 4, invite them to take a selfie with you. And number 5, just be transparent. Okay, that's it for this short episode of the Talk About Talk podcast. And yes, this is episode number 199. The next episode is a big deal. It's going to be episode number 200. I just want to say thank you so much for listening to the Talk About Talk podcast. If you're not subscribed already, please hit subscribe or follow on whatever platform you're on, whether it's Apple or Spotify or YouTube, where now, yes, you can watch the Talk About Talk podcast. Thanks again for listening and talk soon.